Hey everyone, we are just getting into Lexington to do our first Lexington house hunt. We did one in Richmond, but this is Lexington. This is Vicki Ann, and we are on our way into Lexington. Say good morning to Neil.
Good morning.
And we are
right lane to turn onto Hayes Boulevard.
We are finding our first house, and this looks like a huge housing development. I mean, there are houses everywhere. Actually looks like a nice walkable neighborhood though. There is a sidewalk that goes all the way down through there. But I can't figure out how you get into your house. Those houses must have parking spaces behind them. That's different. They're real pretty. It's a real pretty neighborhood. I hope the one we're going to looks this nice.
Woman Way.
Okay, with Siri's help, we are again trying to find it. We found it the first time, and then we got lost in the maze of homes, and so now on the old
mile, turn left on the Camphor Way.
Can you imagine this? Going out to the store, coming back, can't find your home, got to use Siri to help you find it. I can see that happening. Hey y'all, we're about 2 minutes out from the second house. This was the first house that we looked at, and although it looked really nice on the outside, you can see how close it is to the house beside it. It had a very, very small front yard, and the back yard led down to a lake, and the lake was pretty, but there wasn't a fence, so that would not have been safe for our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and possibly even our little dog, so we did not like that. And then on the inside, although it looks really nice on the outside, the inside would have had to be completely repainted and just cleaned. The cleaning left a lot to be desired on those, even though they were letting their house be shown. All of the floors would have had to been redone in some way. The carpets would have had to been taken up. And when you're paying that kind of money, this is an expensive neighborhood. We did not want to go in and start redoing the entire house because the cost is high already, and then you have to go in and do all of that work and spend all that money. It just would not have been worth it. So we left there and we went on to the next house. But in this particular neighborhood, it was so huge. There were more homes side to side like this than if you had added all the homes in our entire county together. I actually felt claustrophobia from just being there. So we drove around about 15 minutes because we got there about 15 minutes early just to check out the neighborhood. And one subdivision led into another subdivision there. And it was so crowded that we actually got lost and couldn't find our way back to the first house after we went past it. Okay guys, we went to that one. It was not what we were looking for whatsoever. I liked the layout, it had a real pretty layout. And I liked that it had a pond behind it, but there wasn't enough yard. And where we've got a young grandchild and young great-grandchildren and a small dog, that just would not work for us. So we are leaving this one and we are going to the second one. Now this should be the best home that we see today.
Quarter mile, turn right.
This is when we turn off. So we're getting ready to turn off on it. And the destination is on our left. This is it right here.
The destination is on your left.
This was the second one. It was a very expensive home. It was really pretty. And we loved the stone, we loved the windows, we loved everything on the front of the exterior. This house had everything you would want on the inside. It was a beautiful home. But there were a couple problems. It had some stains, real bad stains, and a couple carpets, so you'd had to change all the carpets. And the smell of cat urine would have knocked you down. It was all over the house. It was terrible. You couldn't hardly stand to smell it. And it had beautiful cabinets. It had a beautiful island, beautiful kitchen. The living room was gorgeous. It had really nice cabinets on each side of the fireplace. It had a large extra room over the garage you could use for an office or whatever. Very spacious. The yard was nice. Not huge in the back, but nice. But due to this, we took it off of our list. Another of the homes sold before we could even get to it to see it. And this was the third home that we saw. It was a beautiful home. We absolutely loved it. It was the smallest home we saw, and it didn't have the granite countertops, but as you can see, the kitchen was really cute. It was well taken care of. You could tell the people who lived there absolutely loved their home and took care of it. The garage even had a better finish on the floor. It had a perfect setup on the first floor with the bedroom being on the first floor. And then it had a walkout finished basement where they had 2 bedrooms and they had a family room. And the yard was really nice. It was decorated so pretty and it was spacious enough. But the only problem with this house is that it had really steep stairs going down into the basement. And due to that, we decided not to get it because it was just too steep for us at our age. I'm not putting a lot of pictures of that house on here, just a couple, but it was a beautiful home in every aspect. It was clean. The people had really taken care of it. The lady of the house had a gift with decorating, and every room was just perfect. And guys, as I give you a little overview of how the packing is coming along, I'll tell you the rest of the story. So, we went to another house that we put in at the last moment, and although it looked really nice on the inside, it was very clean, and we would have had to paint a few of the walls because of the colors. But the house itself, the structure, we didn't feel was very good. We could see where there was some rain, looked like it was getting into around the bottom of the house, and the backyard would have taken a lot of work. It had some huge trees that would have had to come down, so we didn't want to tackle that. So here's where we are. We've got a whole bunch of boxes all packed up, furniture moved out kind of into the living room, some of it, and we went on that day and we went to Georgetown and we looked there. But one thing that we found a lot of as we were looking is that when you looked on Zillow, it would tell you that there was a new construction. Well, you would drive all that way and it would show you the picture of a house and it looked like it was furnished and everything. You would drive out all the way to the address and there was no house there. They were projecting and showing you what a house could look like on that particular piece of property. Well, when you're looking for a house to move into within a couple months, that just didn't do it. So we did see one absolutely gorgeous home in Georgetown, but it sold in one day on the 4th of July. And it was one of the prettiest houses that we saw. We just saw it from the outside, of course. They were not showing it. So the hunt continues, and we are continuing to pack, continuing to get rid of things that we don't need any longer, and we are deciding, we have a plan now what we can do, so we are going to slowly proceed and we know with the amount of money you spend when you get a home that you have to take your time. You can't just jump into something, or you could live to regret it for a long, long time. So we are taking our time, and we will find the perfect home for us. It may be in Lexington, but it may not be. It may be in Georgetown, but it may not be. We're just looking, and when we decide, we will let you know. And so we're going to continue our additions that we're putting on our house here, because we want everything perfect in our house when we show it. We have learned from just observing the homes that we looked at that you definitely do not want to go into a house, find bad smells, or go into a house knowing you're going to have to take up carpets, which we don't have any carpet in our house. But you don't want to go in after you spent a ton of money to buy a house and then know that you're going to have to start right in and make a lot of changes. So that's not the kind of home that we were looking for. And now there are homes that you would look for if you knew that you were going to go and to purchase a home that was not exactly the way you want it, but you know you could make it into that, and the price was not as high. But if you're paying top dollar for a house, that's just not something that you want to do. So guys, just keep us in your thoughts and prayers as we continue looking for a home and as we sell ours, because we want our home to go to someone also that is would be a good neighbor, and someone that would love it like we've loved it. So that's it for now, and we will see you again next week, and I hope you will join us again next week on our search for a new home and a selling of this one. Thanks, friends.